Hello, everyone. Noon. Well, we welcome our award-winning recordist artist, teacher, workshop presenter, Joanne Lazzao again. She's here with us and going to be going through her extensive collection of world flutes and talk about her music and play the music. We're just so excited. And we're so honored because Joanne has played all over the US and including LA and Disney Hall, New York, the Symphony Center in Chicago, and around the world, like Australia, Belgium, Chile, France, Germany, Italy, Monaco, and the Netherlands. Joanne, some of the places I haven't even been to before. So anyway, so I want to pass the mic over to Joanne.
It's so great to be here on a hot summer day, and as I was deciding what to play today, the tropical weather and the anniversary of some eclipses that I've gone to all took me into areas that I've traveled and places that I've experienced, and also some instruments that talk about some of those places as well. So tropical weather always makes me think about the tropics, and the most tropical instrument I have is a suling from Bali. It's made of bamboo, it's handmade. These are made by a group of women in a little village in Bali, and a friend of mine, Suzanne Tang, orders them from these women and pays them a living wage, and then she brings them into the US and sells them to people who otherwise can't get their hands on a suling. There's nobody making them here in the US. They're very cheerful instruments. They only have 4 holes, and they play in the style of sort of traditional Balinese music. And this is not any official tune. I just make up whatever reminds me of palm trees in the ocean. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. So I realize that I always play world flutes when I'm out and about. But my training was in classical flute, and I realized I almost never get out my shiny flute and play anything. And so there's a quick story behind this next piece that I want to play. It's called Syrinx. It was written by Claude Debussy, and it tells the story of the demigod Pan and a woman called Syrinx. And this is supposed to be the origin story of how the panpipes came to be developed. They were plucked by Pan and made into an instrument because he couldn't catch Syrinx. And The reason I picked this to play in the summer is when I was a kid, and I would practice, at home in the summers, and we had no air conditioning, so like the windows would be open, and it would be hot, and it would be humid, and I'd be diligently, practicing this piece because it's used for auditions and things. And in the background, you'd always hear cicadas. And I know people make a big deal about cicadas that hatch, every 14 years or whatever. Well, the cicadas in upstate New York never got the memo. Every summer, they're cicadas. So I would play this, and in my mind, every time I play it, it's hot, it's humid, and there's cicadas in the background. So this is Syrinx by Debussy. Syrinx. Thank you. And everyone always has questions about all these different world instruments, and I like to bring in some of their origin stories. So that was one interpretation of the origin story of a pan flute. And one would think that, well, does this piece of music actually sound like someone who just invented the pan flute could play it? And the quick answer to that is no, you can never play this on a pan flute. So to prove a point, here's a pan flute. And this is what a pan flute would actually sound like. Oh, and I see the comments kind of flying by, and I don't get a chance to answer all of them. But thank you, everyone who's written in a comment. I'm glad you're enjoying it so far. So this is what a pan flute actually sounds like. It does not sound anything like the piece that I just played. So those are panpipes. Thank you, thank you. So I have a lot of flutes made by both indigenous makers and non-indigenous makers. And here's one made by Brent Haynes of Wood Sounds Flutes. And I custom ordered this. He made a prototype with this beautiful turtle on it, and this is dyed myrtle wood burl. And, you know, I've been thinking about the concept of the turtle. The turtle is a super important instrument for a lot of indigenous North American tribes. The spirit of the turtle is one of sort of steadfastness and safety and patience, but the turtle also represents the planet. They saw the curve of the earth and they said that what caused the earth to be round is the back of a giant turtle that is the home of all living things. And so this flute is my newest flute, and I'm still learning what the turtle is trying to teach me. So this is just a little improvisation. This is the turtle's song. the turtle song. Thanks everyone. The comments go and I can't quite catch them all in real time. So I have a whole bunch of flutes behind me. So let me grab another one that I really like. This flute is made by Danica Lee. I don't think I've played this one for you folks yet. She calls it a box canyon flute. It's actually made like a wooden ocarina, and it is tuned to a pentatonic minor scale, which is a 5-note minor scale that's very popular for Native American flute players. And so this is kind of an experimental flute for her, and it's somewhat of an experimental flute for me because she uses a fingering system that's a little bit different than the one I am accustomed to. But I saw this one and it had a beautiful lizard on it, and I love to watch lizards in the desert. I have an outdoor cat that I take care of here, and she's a terrible hunter, except she can catch lizards. So we call her Molly the Lizard Killer. That's better than her catching birds. Anyway, the lizard who loves to live in the desert, and this is the Box Canyon Flute by Danica Lee. And so this is a lizard song. That is the Box Canyon Ocarina. And that's a lizard song. I always am surprised by what lizards do, and I don't know what they're thinking about, and I don't know where they're going. And that song kind of illustrates the mysterious behavior of a lizard. So I see we're about in the middle of our program, so I'm going to do something that I have never done on this particular Zoom series. I almost never play with backing tracks. I was raised, learning how to play flute solo, and, I'm perfectly comfortable improvising, playing tunes. I'm like really super used to playing solo or playing with actual musicians, drummers or whoever who are following me or jamming with me. So I just was never into backing tracks because it's like somebody else's music. It's just going along. You can't change it. They won't speed up. They won't slow down. They won't do anything different. But during the pandemic, just because it was a thing to do, I participated in some backing track challenges. And I discovered a backing track by Tom Bailey, a beautiful piano backing track in B minor, just a beautiful, serene chord changes. And I did it live a few times. You know, people really liked it when I played it for the backing track challenge. Then I did it live a few times, and I told the story of what I was thinking about and feeling at the time. And my mom was in a nursing home during the pandemic, and she passed away there, not of COVID, but of some other long-term serious illnesses. And she also had dementia, and she got to the point where she could no longer carry on a conversation. She was just very angry and very disoriented and very frightened, and the only thing that calmed her down was me playing the flute. And when I got this backing track, I composed 2 songs that were based on these experiences, and I released them both in this past summer. And one's called No More Words, and the other one is called Ashes to Ireland, which was one of her last wishes, was for me to go to Ireland and scatter her ashes and play flute for her on the moors. So I went and recorded these 2 versions in Dolby Atmos surround sound, and I've got birds that are all symbolic, and they're flying around, and the birds mean different things. And so I'm going to cue up the one that's called Ashes to Ireland, and on that I'm playing 3 different kinds of Celtic flutes. I'm playing a traditional flute like this, I'm playing a low whistle and a high whistle. And since I can't play it live and switch instruments fast enough, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the track, and then I'm going to add in some extra bird sounds, and then maybe a little something else if I'm inspired. So let me quick fire up the computer. So this is Ashes to Ireland. I play all the bird calls, but I'm going to add a few more. So that was Ashes to Ireland, and the companion piece that goes with it, called No More Words, is all Native American flutes. And I recorded both of them basically in 2 days up in a studio called Spatial Sound Studios in Portland. And they were completely improvised on the spot. And we did a lot of takes, and then we layered in the harmonies, which are also improvised on the spot. And I played all of the bird sounds. And if you listen to it on a streaming service that has Dolby surround sound, you'll hear that the birds are all around you in 360 degrees, and they're calling to each other in the trees. So I played all of the bird sounds. And I never thought I would use a backing track, but just this one to tell this particular story seemed to make a lot of sense. So I think Tina will put a link to my Bandcamp account. If you don't have access to a streaming service that has Dolby surround sound, you can actually download those 2 tracks in stereo surround sound. I have tracks available just on Bandcamp. And I also made 2 videos that are both on YouTube as well. I really, it was a very emotional, cathartic experience to go through this recording session and put a lot of very, very difficult emotions and very, very stressful experiences and put it into music that sort of represents my journey, that whole anger, denial, frustration, acceptance, and then passing through to the next level. So anyway, I hope people find it on YouTube, or find it on a streaming service, or go grab it on Bandcamp if you want to hear the special surround sound version that's there. And you can contact me through any of those services, and let me know how you liked it, and if it was helpful to you or to someone that that's going through that similar experience that we all seem to be sharing, of an older loved one just kind of passing away slowly before your eyes. So I'm going to move on to a few more other instruments that I have out today. I'm kind of in the mood for some of my symbolic instruments, and I'm not sure if I've played this one for this concert series yet. This is a triple Native American flute. It's made by Nash Taviwa. Thank you everyone who's sending comments. They're flying by and I can't respond to everyone by name, but I do see it. Thank you so much. His name is Nash Taviwa. He lives in Northern California. His family is from Oaxaca. They are traditionally makers of ceramic vessels and whistles, and he developed this design himself. He also makes sort of traditional looking Native American flutes out of wood, but he designed this triple flute, and it is a rattlesnake. I'll hold it up close. There's a rattlesnake, beautiful detail. It's got a rattle tail, and whenever I'm looking at indigenous instruments that have animals on them, the use of particular animals is not ubiquitous or doesn't mean the same thing for every tribe. And in some tribes, you can put a coyote on an instrument, and on some you should not make an image of a coyote. And some you can put an image of a snake on an instrument, and in some tribes you cannot. So I'm comfortable bringing out this rattlesnake flute because it was made by an indigenous maker, and it's perfectly acceptable and a worthy animal to represent in his culture. The rattlesnake flute is not designed to play any known tunes. The rattlesnake always plays the rattlesnake's own song. It tells me what it wants to do when I start playing it. So this is the rattlesnake song. rattlesnake. So I'm thinking about some of the other experiences that I've had, and I have a friend who is Native American, and I just realized I don't have his flute in front of me. Let me grab it. It never fails. I'll have an arsenal of flutes in front of me, and then I'll go to reach for one and realize it's on the other side of the room. So this is made by Tim Blue Flint, and he is an enrolled Chippewa Comanche maker. And the whole situation behind Native American flutes, Native American style flutes, are you a woodworker that's making them and you have to call them Native American style flutes because you're not indigenous? Are you indigenous but you're not enrolled? And even though your product is made by Native American, you still have to call it Native American style flute. And if you are enrolled, then the products that you made can be called just plain Native American. So it's a very complicated and sometimes tricky situation. So I try to be clear about who my makers are and what their status is, just so people are aware that there's these three different situations out there. Tim Blue Flint makes flutes with a very traditional sound that's a little bit different from quite a few of the other instruments that I have in my collection. And I always like playing his flutes because when I play them, I feel the amount of love and attention he puts into the flutes. And it always feels like when I play his flutes, I feel like I'm reaching back through his ancestry, carrying forward a sound that is traditional to his family. This has no particular name. It's just tribute to Tim. Here we go, A Song with No Name. It's I always love playing his flutes. They have this beautiful, breathy sound that I feel really brings out the spirit of the wood. And I also see that it's 12:45, so I know there's other sessions after mine. Tina, if you'd like me to play some more, I can, or I can thank everyone now. I'm trying to see the comments. There's a whole bunch here going on. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone who came today. I hope you enjoyed the music. I hope you enjoyed the stories. And I hope you enjoy those two videos. I put a lot of thought into them. And I hope they do some people some good who are going through these situations. The
Thank you so
question,
much.
do you ever have concerts in San Francisco? I would love to coordinate some concerts in San Francisco. I have a friend who lives up there, so I'm thinking about getting together and doing some sort of a joint concert with her. So thank you for reminding me. I should contact her and find out if she wants to do something together now that people are able to perform live again.
Julie, maybe we should invite Joanne to the memorial, the Veteran Memorial when it starts. When the
Well,
news
that'd be
happens.
awesome.
I know.
Joanne, I've listened to some things of yours on YouTube, and it cannot compare to this sound that I'm hearing right now with your backstories. I mean, you're just awesome.
I know,
And
it's
I've heard you
amazing.
like 3 times through Travandi now. So, but I've tried the YouTube thing, and you can't get the sound, the backstories, and the view of who you are.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joanne. I got your link. I'll send out to everybody, including everybody who cannot join.
Okay. And yeah, if you want me to come up to San Francisco, I have excuses to go up there all the time. I look for excuses. So we can probably work something out if I'm available. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.
All right.
Big hands
Thank
to
you.
Joanne. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye bye.